You're listening to The Building Code, your guide to a better way to run your business. I'm Tom.
Great job, Tom. I'm Paul.
We're just going with single names now.
Yeah, people know us by now.
That's right.
Hopefully.
We're in our second year of the podcast.
Yeah, how about that?
That's pretty great.
New year, new you.
New year, new you, new guests.
So it's Tom, Paul, and
a sponsor for this episode. This episode is brought to you in part by Buildertrend webinars. If you've always wanted to learn more about Buildertrend in a low-stress environment without the commitment of calling in, you can watch one of our live webinars. We have one each month, and you can click a link in our show notes and pick a day that works for you. And before we get started, just want to point out that we recorded this conversation with Lucas a couple weeks ago before all of this coronavirus pandemic, but we still thought the information was extremely valuable and we wanted to air it for you now. Maybe it'll be a little bit of a nice break for you from all the news and a little bit of positivity from Lucas sharing about his experience. And joining us on our episode today is Lucas Congdon, owner of Lucas Lagoons. Hi,
there
Lucas.
I am. What's up, guys?
we're happy to have Lucas here.
Yeah.
This is exciting. You may recognize the name.
That's right. The name from the show Insane Pools Off the Deep End on the Animal Planet had 3 seasons there, which is really impressive run.
Hit TV show.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It went by quick in some ways. In other ways, it was really long, but super cool experience, and just great. It's funny, everywhere I go now, people recognize me. And sometimes, most of the time, I don't know if I'm supposed to know somebody or not. And I forget all the time, especially the first couple of years that I'm on TV. So I'm like, why are they looking at me like that? It was so funny. And, I really, have no ego about it. So I forget all the time. People come up to me and I'm like, shoot, do I know you? And they're like, oh, no, I seen you on TV. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. We have a show.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That would be weird.
I think the listeners would want to know how'd that all happen. Take us from the start. Yeah.
Yeah. YouTube. I made YouTube videos for 10 years before I got discovered. I always thought what we did would make a cool show, and even before I was really into the pool business, I always liked making goofy videos and always kind of wanted to be on TV. So it's just funny. It's one of those dreams that you have that you think will never really come true, but you just kind of go for it anyway. So yeah, it was a crazy thing. It just, it actually happened. But from the first time they contacted me till it actually aired was almost 4 years. So first it was like basically a talent type person that comes up with an idea for a show. They kind of search YouTube for different ideas, and then they pitch it to a production company that then has to make a sizzle reel and then pitch it to network. So that process took a couple of years. The first production company didn't really capture, I don't think, what we do well, and wasn't able to sell it. And then so the second production company was successful in selling the show. So anyway, there was a lot of excitement and then letdowns for years. And so kind of felt like, never cry wolf. I kept telling my friends, I'm going to have a show. And then it didn't happen. And then so people started not believe me. So I just shut up and I didn't talk about it. And then eventually it happened. So now I can be like, I told you so.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's a really cool story. Do you still have your original YouTube videos that you were doing somewhere?
Yeah, they're on YouTube.
Yeah, they're still out there. I'm going to actually revive the channel now, kind of get back to my roots and do our own filming. I got some great help now. They're going to be way better quality than what they were back in the day. Mm-hmm.
I checked out the channel, and you got some content on there that's 10 plus years old, which is impressive for a YouTube channel. Like most YouTube channels nowadays that you see all these, rising stats on, they've only been out for a couple of years. So, you've got some history there, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, no, it was a long time of filming, and, now I have experience. I think I could be a pretty good producer. I know kind of how it works, and we're just producing our own series. Actually, we just started something called Joke of the Month, and we're going to do an adult joke and a kid's joke. So, our whole brand's about just having fun, trying not to take life too seriously, just fun. So I was trying to come up with an idea of how to engage people on social media more than just posting pictures of pools like every other pool builder does. So I want to be unique and different. So we're we're having, kids come in and tell their kids jokes, and then adults do their adult joke. And whoever wins the joke of the month, not only do they win cash prize, but they also get to have their joke reenacted by the cast of Insane Pools. So the first joke, I won't tell you the whole joke, but it involves Superman. So we have a green screen and we're flying around the city, and it's just super hilarious. And then we also have Crash in a chicken costume for a chicken crossing the road type kids joke. So
nice.
It's pretty fun. It gives us some great content, and it's a lot of fun. It's funny, and I think it'll get people talking, and hopefully it'll take off.
That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, you mentioned social media. So for you and your business, what social media channels do you like the best or work best for you?
So it's constantly shifting. It seemed like Facebook was really taking off. Now it seems more like Pinterest and Instagram, and we do. I mean, Instagram's definitely probably the top right now. I think we have the biggest following on Instagram right now. And then YouTube, we really want to revive and do a lot with the YouTube channel. I mean, because now you have smart TV, so you can just go on YouTube on your TV just like any other channel. So I think that's going to be huge. I mean, there's obviously people making a lot of money and whole careers just on YouTube. So we want to kind of take that following and continue to do stuff on YouTube.
Yeah, that's awesome. And if you're not following Lucas Lagoons on Instagram, you can find them at Lucas Lagoons with an S at the end of it on Instagram. And they've got a really great, lots of great posts on there. Love the content. So
yeah, there's pools, people in chicken suits. There's people in bathing suits, which is always nice, depending on who they are. So this is good.
We're going to get a lot better stuff on there too.
That's cool, man.
That's good.
Hey, so you had mentioned your brand as a business. Probably a good segue into telling the listeners sort of, take us down the line of like who you are. What's a profile for Lucas Lagoons?
So Lucas Lagoons, we pride ourselves in coming up with unique solutions to problems sometimes. We do stuff that's, super custom. We really take our time to learn about the clients, learn about their lifestyle, learn about, their property, the different challenges, and come up with basically a functional piece of art that's built to last a lifetime. So, it's not just a pool. It's, we want to leave behind a timeless piece of art that will not be remodeled in the future. I mean, look at the architecture Frank Lloyd Wright did, so many decades ago. And to this day, people have these homes and they're timeless. And so we're trying to kind of take that idea to the outdoor living area and do something that's, a great investment for the clients. Typically, outdoor living is becoming something that adds value to the home. But, for years when you get an appraisal, they just go by kind of square footage and what's around. They don't really give you, money back for that. But outdoor living is such a popular thing now. I see, getting more value for that. But also as a brand, if, I can only build about 20 projects a year, and there's only so many years I can do this. So I want to build such a strong brand that adds value as well, and build it to last a lifetime so that, you're not just doing something quick and cheap and then having to redo it years down the road. So just lasting value, quality, and something uniquely different.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that you're trying to kind of elevate your industry specifically in pool building, just because, I think most people think about pool builders and they're thinking, 20 by 40 rectangle in the ground, and that's kind of it. They're checking the box, right? And you're bringing a whole new angle to it, adding pergolas and adding areas for people to, enjoy not just the pool, but the whole area outside. I think that's really fantastic that you're doing that.
Yeah, thank you.
You got to be located somewhere warm. I don't know if you said that. So where are you guys based out of?
Sarasota, Florida. So the west coast of Florida, just kind of halfway between Tampa and Naples. Okay. So we got Siesta Key Beach, which was rated the #1 beach in the U.S. for quite a few years in a row. And it's a great area for pools.
And you guys have been, your company, I assume you started it. How long ago?
I started it in 2003.
Cool. And can you talk a little bit about how you ramped up employee wise and job wise? Did that just happen organically, or what'd your journey look like?
It's been a long, hard journey. Moved to Florida, broke, and had a dream of working.
I feel like a lot of people have said those exact words. Or California broke.
Yeah. Got a prayer and a dream. I almost moved to California, but it was just so expensive there that Florida is still, the cost of living is still pretty low. You have a ton of opportunity, obviously good weather all year round to work. If you like to sweat your butt off in the summer, but this time of year is beautiful. But yeah, I mean, it's a great place, a lot of opportunity, a lot of growth. There's no state income tax, so that helps. A lot of opportunity here. So when I moved down, I had a landscape background, so I started landscaping and kind of doing tree work and whatever kind of work I could find. And then after being here a couple of years, I had an opportunity to do a pool remodel. And I grew up doing stonework in Vermont, so I always had an eye for doing unique stuff, but I never really did stonework around a pool. So it was quite a learning curve, but there's a lot of ups and downs, trial and error, but I always made sure that in the end, it was a beautiful job and everything was perfect. Even if it cost me more money than what I made, I always just made sure to do a great job for the client. So, basically I paid for my education by learning on the job, which a lot of people do. And the ones that are successful don't walk away from a failed project. They go until it's perfect. And so you can either go to college to learn something, or you can learn the hard way. So, but I mean, really, for what I do, there's really I started out, I was going to do landscape architecture, and it was just so boring in college. And a lot of the landscape architects I worked for had no real world experience and didn't really understand how to build a project. So everything that I did was just kind of using my imagination and figuring it out in the real world. And I think that created a uniquely different looking project and company. Also, because I didn't learn the traditional way on how to build pools. I came from a more aesthetic landscape background. I was doing things that supposedly weren't able to be done, and I figured out how to do them. So I just think, from coming at the pool industry from a totally different angle gave me, a lot of challenges, but in the end, a unique style. And so I think that's what also helped us stand apart from the competition.
And stand apart you do. You have built some quite insane pools. Do you have a favorite one that you would say is either the most insane or your most favorite project?
People always ask that, and it's funny because it's like, if you have multiple kids, someone's like, who's your favorite kid? I mean, You love them all. Right. It's each one I take so much time and pride in that whatever one I'm working on is kind of my favorite because I'm just kind of in love with it and in the process. Over the years, there's certain ones that stand out. I wouldn't say there's one particular one, but I mean, there is one of the most challenging ones and most expensive pools we've done it's a special episode after season 3 called Mild to Wild. And that was over a $2 million project. Had a 140-foot water slide coming out of a tree house. We had to build an artificial tree because you're not allowed to build tree houses in Florida because of our wind codes. So tons of challenges there. Also, the wife wanted more of a old world architectural pool that went with the Mediterranean style of their home. The husband wanted jumping and grottos and crazy, just fire and, all that stuff. So we were able to kind of make a fusion, and we called it Mild to Wild. So yeah, it was a challenging project and very, very cool.
That's the one where you built the pergolas in the pool as well, right?
Yeah, right. Yep.
Just having a structure like inside the pool, that's pretty crazy too.
Have you seen every episode? Are you in the Lucas Lagoons fan club?
I am. Yeah.
You headed up?
Following it, yeah.
Be very afraid, Lucas. He knows a little too much about what's going on here.
It's a cool project. If you haven't seen it, we'll put a link in our show notes to that project specifically. We'll find some images or something that we can throw on there.
Yeah, they're on the website. If you go to featured projects on lucaslagoons.com, it's probably one of the first ones featured on there, if not the first one. So. Yeah.
It's impressive.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah.
What's interesting is that with our user base, we've talked about this a lot. Typically, we define Buildertrend users as home builders, remodelers, specialty contractors, and commercial. In the specialty market, we've got a really big niche of pool builders. So I know, Lucas, you guys started using it a couple years ago. You want to talk a little bit about how you got to needing a software like Buildertrend and what you guys use it for?
Yeah, I think one of the hardest things in any business is communication. Everyone's out just scrambling, kind of stuck in their daily routine, and we're all trying to find, hire the right person that's going to be that organized person, or, trying to find a way to organize. And, Buildertrend is that tool. I mean, I've never been really a techie type person. I'm more of a build with my hands type person. But, we all rely on our cell phones, and being able to have the mobile app and the computers, and being able to put everything into one app is unbelievable. I mean, I didn't even use it even a tenth of what it could do. I had no idea, and then we actually spent the money to get some training, and that was so worth it. I recommend to anybody that's using Buildertrend. I mean, it does so much more than you can even imagine, and I'm still, probably only using a third of it. I mean, it just, it's just so much. And, but, being able to track, your conversations with clients. And, I even love the feature, if I'm going to a job site, I can go in there and click on the little blue map icon, and it pulls up into my GPS, and I can go right to the job and not have to look for the address and not have to type in an address while you're driving. You can just hit that little blue icon. I mean, just so many little things like that sound simple, but it's well thought out. I mean, it's been one of the greatest things we've done to kind of help grow our business from just a 5-person little business to, doing maybe a couple million a year to doing like probably this year will be $15 million in pools. And that's only really doing maybe 20 projects. I mean, these are massive projects.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I appreciate all that because you're one of our great clients, and we love hearing that. What I think is interesting about pool builders, I mean, is that what you would call your category, pool?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, there were a lot of things, but that's probably the most easy, generic way to describe us.
Yeah, so, so in some circles, you'd be a subcontractor, but you're one of the only subcontractors that acts like a general contractor because there's so many moving parts, and I think that's why Buildertrend's a good fit.
Yeah, I mean, we're managing a lot of staff and a lot of subcontractors. I mean, we're designing. Our business is really split into two parts: the design side, which is actually a separate company, and then the construction side, because I do a lot of designing and consulting as well for other pool builders, or even out of country. We did a design consulting for a hotel in Madrid, Spain. We did some consulting for a family out in Australia. So, but it's great, no matter where you are, to have all the information on your phone or your computer. I mean, from vendors, price lists, change orders, addresses, texting, all the different messages. I mean, being able to message through Buildertrend is really cool. That's what I'm really working on trying to do now. It's so easy to just text, but to have all your communication on one platform is great, for so many different reasons. Even if it, sometimes, as honest and as hardworking of a company as we are, we did get into one legal situation with a crazy homeowner that they were like, I don't know, just crazy people. Sometimes you'll run into that, and to be able to show, all your communications and everything that you did. I mean, we won the lawsuit because we had all that communication and showed, look, we tried everything we could do to satisfy these people. They were just nuts, and I think for any contractor, they know what I'm talking about, whether you're working for a builder or working for a homeowner or some crazy person, being able to show every move that you make, especially if you're honest and hardworking, and showing that you gave it your all, and to have it all tracked on one platform saves time, saves money. It makes it easier for your attorneys. I mean, it's priceless.
Yeah, we don't talk about that enough. A lot of Buildertrend just boils down to CYA.
Yeah.
Do you know what that means, Tom?
Yeah, I do. we're gonna
a family show.
It's a family show, so we're just gonna leave it at that.
Okay, good.
We'll put it in the show notes.
The show notes, yeah,
I guess.
If you want the definition of CYA,
maybe go to the show notes.
Maybe.
I guess. Yeah.
That's interesting. So you were talking about your design side of things. We actually saw your design team before we got on here because we're doing a FaceTime. You got a new office. Looks like it's really cool.
Yeah. We just moved in downtown Sarasota, 1280 North Palm Avenue. Great place. We bought this building, did a build out. We're almost done. We're going to have a huge party in April, grand opening. And so, this is great. We're just trying to have that downtown loft vibe and just a cool creative space for people to come, and not your typical pool showroom where it's just tile selections and real generic. We're trying to really not have a lot of samples. It's more about just coming to a cool space to be inspired and work through designs with clients. So, and just a great place to kind of work and be in a good atmosphere. We got all the bars, restaurants, art galleries, everything here. So if you want to jump out and get a coffee and kind of, stretch your legs and then before you get back to the computer, it's just a great atmosphere.
It sounds great. Maybe
sounds like I know we're going to be in April.
Can we get an invite?
Yeah. We haven't decided a date. We want to do an April Fool's party, April 1st, but that's on a Wednesday. So we're kind of fighting internally whether we do it on a Wednesday or a Friday.
Yeah.
So just come for those 3 days and you'll be guaranteed.
We'll go all the time. I love that. I saw a little bit of your storefront. Like you said, you are sort of in a very busy metro area there. Are you concerned, or do you predict people will just be walking in because they know the name and they just kind of want to see the staff and you? And that's probably not a bad thing, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it might be hard to get some work done sometimes, but we want fans to be able to come and buy a hat or T-shirt or just even if they can't afford a pool, just to come in, tell a joke, whatever. Just come meet us and just keep that friendly vibe going.
Yeah, that's great. Cool. Well, we're booking plane tickets right now.
And we're working on our jokes too.
Yeah.
I'll bring the jokes.
You'll bring the jokes.
I'll bring the
That's
jokes.
your brand.
That's my joke. Yeah.
All right. One last serious question, and we appreciate all your time. So you were talking about design. I'm just curious. So when you're designing a pool, what are the things you have to consider? Maybe this is obvious to some people, but
right.
What kind of things?
A lot. We consider everything from the soil conditions. So we don't use generic engineering. Everything's site specific. So we'll start with a geotechnical test, tell us what the soils are so we know how to build the pool. Sometimes you run into excessive water or clay soils, expansive soils. Sometimes there's just buried debris or organics. So we start from the ground up, from the soils, and then as far as aesthetics go, it needs to kind of flow with the environment, the architecture of the house, the unique style and taste of the clients. There's a lot that goes into the design, and we charge for the design, because we take a lot of time. And so that's been a great and fun income stream as well. And so we charge for the design, but because we charge for our time, we even encourage people, go ahead and get other bids, see that we're, to build something like this. I mean, our jobs cost more, not because we're just, hey, we're famous and trying to gouge people. We just build a better product, and our markup is pretty standard with everyone else's markup. We're just building an expensive pool. So, the clients pay for the design. They can take that design and shop it around. But 90% of the time, we build the pool. And so that's awesome. And, when someone contacts us, we're really blessed. They're already sold. We're not really trying to sell pools. We're just, teaming up with clients to build their ultimate design, and then, building it. So it's, really from concept to completion.
That's really cool. What a great spot to be in just in your career, like the life cycle of your business. So that's really cool. I guess I have one more question based on that. So if you're a pool builder out there, or anybody's a small contractor, we ask most of our guests this. So what would be your advice to start their path to get to a place where you're at?
Yeah, I guess I would look for, deficiencies or weaknesses in your field. I think of ways that you can stand out, do the best job you can and give it your all, and don't give up, because it's not easy. I've so many times I wanted to quit or just give up. But, when it's your passion and it's all I mean, basically I think the main way to succeed is to not have quitting an option. Like in my mind, it was never an option. I never started it thinking, well, if this doesn't work, I'll do something else. It was, no, this is what I'm going to do. And I believe that, when failure is not an option, you're not going to fail. You may stumble or have hard days, but you just got to really believe in yourself and your dream and give it everything you got, and you're going to succeed. It might not be overnight, but you will succeed.
That's awesome. I love that determination right there.
Yeah.
Well, Lucas, thank you so much for coming on our podcast and sharing your experience with Buildertrend, but also just your experience in general in this area. We're really excited to see what's coming next for Lucas Lagoons, so keep us posted. And listeners, if you're not following them again on Instagram, make sure to hit that follow button and check them out on YouTube as well, because we'll be excited to see some new content coming soon.
Yeah, check out our jokes, and then go ahead and email us. Just make a video of yourself telling a joke and send it to social@lucaslagoons.com. And if your joke wins, you'll get some cash and you'll see us reenacting it on TV.
Nice.
Oh, man. Tom, you're so doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Cool, man.
Good stuff. All right. Thanks, Lucas, so much for joining us.
All right. Thanks,
man.
guys.
Thanks. Appreciate you.
You bet.
Love what you heard? Don't forget to rate and subscribe to our podcast so you can hear from more guests that will benefit your business. Also, please check out our show notes page for more information on what we discussed on this episode. You can find it at buildertrend.com/podcast. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on The Building Code. Appreciate you.